Today we are going to start with the topic custom. In the previous lecture we have seen sources of law, and one of the source is custom. Okay, now what is custom? Something comes as a fashion. It is being followed by many people, means in the society. It becomes a habit of them, and when it becomes a habit of the society and if it is followed for a long time, it becomes a custom. Okay, now the previous time, in the ancient times when law was not there, at that time rules and regulation or law was in the form of custom. Custom is the oldest form of lawmaking. It obtains the force of law subject to certain conditions, which we call it as valid conditions. Valid custom means these are the essentials which are if present, then only it will become a valid custom. Okay, means what exactly custom is then? Men's common habit or conduct in certain given circumstances is termed as custom. Man's common habit or conduct in certain given circumstances, when they are being followed by the people for time immemorial, it becomes a custom. Okay, now we'll see definition of Salmond. Okay, what Salmond is stating: the embodiment of those principles which have been commended themselves to the national conscience as principles of justice and public utility. Means why custom is being created? For public utility. The customs are in national conscience, and they are as the principles of justice, and they are being made for utility, for the people, for the use of the people. Okay, I'll repeat again: the embodiment of these principles which have been commended themselves to the national conscience as principles of justice and public utility. Okay, now it is not possible for any society or any developed society to enact laws, okay, for every usage of human beings. Means for every aspect of human beings, laws cannot be created. Means much of the part of human beings or the society or his conduct, it depends upon custom. Custom governs those area. This is the definition of Salmond. Okay, but how Austin explains it? Austin says that custom is not a source of law. He is not defining custom. He is telling that custom is not a source of law, but it can take a shape of law when the stamp of recognition is affixed by the state. Means if the state recognizes the custom, then only it will become a law. Okay, now what was the concept of custom in Rome and India and all? Okay, in Rome they believed that custom played a very important role before they were made the part of law. Means when man was governed by law, when man became governed by law, means when law was created. Before that man's life was controlled and governed by customs. Okay, now English law says that common customs and common laws are synonyms. Means all believe, like Romans and the English people, they believe that custom was prevailing and controlling at one time in the society. And what Indians believe, in Manusmriti it is mentioned that the righteous path shown by our own ancestor should be followed, and that in following it we would not suffer. So customs were followed in ancient times, and whatever our ancestors have told, which are valid customs now, it is good that you follow it. Okay, now what are the essentials of a valid custom? A custom is a part of law. Custom is a source of law. But which custom? That which is valid. And to become a valid custom, there are certain essentials. The first is antiquity. Antiquity means what? Immemorial time. Means when the custom is being followed beyond the memory of man by the people. Means years after year, generations after generations, they follow it. Then it can be called as a custom. Custom proved to be immemorial. Privy Council in Subhani versus Nawab has observed that custom must be of long usage, but it is not of the essence of the rule that its antiquity must be in every case carried back to a period beyond the memory of time, but it must be followed for a long time. In Subhani versus Nawab, it is mentioned that you can't say that the Immemorial time means beyond memory. It can be few years back. Okay, few years back. Therefore, in English law, they believe that when a custom is being followed for 1189 years, then we can consider that it is immemorial. Okay, therefore the custom must be followed for an immemorial time. Second is what? Continuance. Continuity for a long time is a sole crux of valid custom. Continuously it must be followed. It should not be interrupted. Means few years it is followed, few years it is not followed. Like that it should not be. Okay. In Chandika versus Manna Kaur, it is been held that if a custom has not been followed continuously and uninterruptedly for a long time, the presumption is that it never existed at all. Therefore, custom must be followed for a continuous period. Okay. And how it should be followed? It should be followed by a peaceful enjoyment. So, the first essential is what? Antiquity, that is immemorial time. Second is continuance. Third is peaceful enjoyment. Fourth is what? Reasonableness. Means a custom should be convenient and it should be useful for the society. It should be reasonable. Okay. Moreover, custom should be certain. Means we should be in a position to explain that we do this. These four things are being done. When we see that we follow the custom, we do these four things. Means custom must be certain. It should not be vague, uncertain. Indefinite custom cannot be recognized. And how the people should follow? They should feel that it is obligatory. Therefore, custom should have an obligatory force. Custom must be regarded as a binding. People should regard it as binding and not in the spirit of individual liking and disliking. Means you are following it, I am not following it. Like that it should not be there. It should be followed for a continuous time. Okay, in continuity. And people should believe that yes, I should do it, I should follow it. Means it should have a binding force. Okay, it should be consistent. Custom must not come into conflict with other customs. One custom cannot be opposite to other custom. Then both are not custom. Then they are cracking each other. Therefore, it should be consistent. Custom must not come into conflict with other custom. It should not be opposed to public policy. It should not conflict with a statute law. Okay. And moreover, it should be moral. It should be decent. It should be based upon morality. It should not be opposed to decency and morality. Then only it can be called as a valid custom. Like dowry, it is an evil custom. Okay, because people started killing their daughter-in-laws or they are harassing. So this is not a proper customary practices. Then sati, it was an evil custom. Okay, so it cannot be a custom then. It was not a custom itself. Therefore, we have passed a law to eradicate those customs. Therefore, they must be moral. Okay. Now, we'll just revise what are the essentials of valid custom: antiquity, continuance, peaceable enjoyment, reasonableness, certainty, obligatory force, consistency, not opposed to public policy, not conflict with statute law, and it should be moral. Okay. Now, one concept is called as prescription, that we are going to see in detail in easementary law. Okay, but here prescription is different and custom is different. For prescription, the easement should be followed for continuously and all for 20 long years. Specifically 20 years it is mentioned. Therefore, when a thing is being followed for a long time immemorial, then it creates a practice, then that is called as a custom. But when it creates a right, it becomes a prescriptive right and it should be followed for 20 years. Okay, 20 years or more. When a thing is practiced for a long time, it gives rise to a rule of law known as custom. But if it gives rise to a right, it is called as prescription or it is called as a prescriptive right. Like the easementary rights, right of way, right of support, right of heir. These are easementary rights, and these easementary rights, if followed for a long time, 20 years and more, then it becomes a prescriptive right. Okay. Now, customs can be classified like customs without sanction and customs having sanction. Means these are the customs which are being followed by the people, which should be followed, and if not followed, then that can be enforced by the state. Now this can be further divided into legal custom and conventional custom. Conventional custom means what? When they have been created by the society, members have come together, and when they have created it by an agreement, they agree together. That is called as conventional custom. This can be either general conventional custom, generally followed by all the people, or it can be a local custom. It's only for a particular locality. What is legal custom? Legal custom is that custom which can be enforced by the courts. Again, that can be divided into general as per territory and local, that is as per particular locality. Means that when a custom has been followed in a particular locality, or custom has been followed in a particular family, okay, or custom which is generally followed, that is called as a general custom. Local custom can be divided into personal local, means they are followed by a particular family only, they are in that family only, that is called as personal custom. And some customs are there which are followed by the locality, geographically, particular area, that is called as geographical custom. Okay, custom is a source of law. If it is valid custom, then only it can become a part of law. Nowadays what has happened, we are not waiting for a custom to be made as a law. If we want to make a law for any aspect, what we can do? The parliament can make a law. With the passage of time, custom has become to decline. In a primitive society, custom was the only source of law. But nowadays, legislature is there. It is passing laws for us whenever we want on any subject matter. We can, or our parliamentarians will make a law. Therefore, law activity of a custom has now been declined. Okay. Now custom is there, applicable for certain aspects and all, but nowadays we don't make law through custom. Our parliament is there which makes a law. For that, it is stated like, modern society cannot wait for generations so that a custom becomes ancient and is recognized by court. Modern man looks to the legislature for enacting laws at a speed which is demanded by an atomic age. Therefore, we want law to be made as fast as possible. Therefore, parliament makes a law for us. We can't wait for a long time and follow it for a long time, immemorial and all, and then it will become a custom and then it will become a law. We don't do that nowadays. Our parliament is there. Our parliament makes laws for us. Okay, but for every aspect, law can't be made. That part of man, that conduct of man is governed by custom today. Okay. Bye bye. See you in the next video.